Ever wonder how copywriters come up with the most epic and timeless slogans for brands like Nike, Apple, L'Oreal, or even Wheaties? Comment below if you know what those famous slogans are, and I will reveal them at the end of this video. But first, how exactly do these creative geniuses come up with something that's catchy, memorable, and accurately conveys a core message of the brand in just a few words? Does it all just come down to creative talent or luck, or is there more to this whole process than meets the eye? Well, in today's video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and break down my own creative process for coming up with memorable brand names, course names, taglines, and slogans that leave a lasting impression in the minds of fans everywhere. So keep watching. Hey Posse, what's up? It's Alex, and I'm really excited about this video because it's one of my absolute favorite things to do as a copywriter. And that is coming up with kick-ass slogans, taglines, brand names, or even names for your courses and programs. If you're new to the crew, welcome. On my channel, you'll find over 100 tutorials covering everything from copywriting to freelancing, social media, entrepreneurship, and the list goes on and on and on. So be sure to hit subscribe below and then ring that bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Now, unless you're Don Draper from Mad Men, you probably just can't magically come up with a totally brilliant, original, and catchy slogan in the blink of an eye. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, most of us can't. The truth is that there is a lot more that goes into crafting memorable slogans, taglines, and course names than popular television and movies might have you believe. That's right, genius brand slogans don't just come to you magically in your dreams, or at least 99% of the time they don't. In fact, when I'm trying to come up with a great name or a memorable slogan for my next course or program or offer, there is always a step-by-step process that I work through before I stumble upon, right, the perfect phrase. And like all things in copywriting, it really needs to start with step one: crystallize the USP. Everything you do in your business needs to be centered around your USP, or unique selling proposition. Now, while it's true that most companies and brands have a broad USP statement that applies more in general to their mission statement, right? Each product or service that you offer within that brand should also have its own USP as well. I mean, you created those products and services to do different things or help different people. They are different, so they need to have different USPs. So for example, let's take a look at my brand, right? The Copy Posse. Well, the USP for my brand as a whole is we are a global crew of copywriters committed to dedouchifying the internet one word at a time and making caring cool again. Total sidebar, I almost called the Copy Posse the Copy Coop for chicks who love to write. But then I decided that I didn't only want to serve women, so I changed the USP to be more of a global crew of copywriters, and the Copy Posse was born. But that just goes to show that brands can have literally the exact same offer but serve a different audience, making their USP completely different. But under my brand, the Copy Posse, I offer a range of different products and services, and each one of them vary in terms of what it does, who they're aiming to help, and how they accomplish the end goal. So my Write and Ignite challenge is for entrepreneurs, freelancers, and aspiring copywriters who want a proven sales page formula to ignite online sales. The Own the Inbox challenge is still for entrepreneurs, freelancers, and aspiring copywriters, but it's for those who want to learn how to write a high converting email sequence that'll get them more clients and turn signups into sales. And then there's my 8-week copywriting coaching program, the Launch Files, which is for new and existing copywriters who want to launch their freelancing business from scratch or complete a cohesive and professional copywriter portfolio. And lastly, Rain is my exclusive membership for self-led, ambitious, and fiercely empathetic freelancers who are ready to boss up from freelancer to entrepreneur, turn their side hustle into 6 figures, and become the reigning authority in their domain. So see how each and every one of those has its own completely separate USP statements? So once you figure that out for your brand, you want to move on to step 2, brainstorm product and brand names. All right, now that you know what exactly it is that makes your brand special, unique, different, or better, and who it helps, it's time to brainstorm a name. And sometimes this will come to you really quickly after writing out the USP statement. So for example, for my Write and Ignite challenge, it teaches you how to write a sales page that will help you ignite online sales. So all I did was take the word write and ignite, boom, put them together, and the Write and Ignite challenge was born. But my most recent challenge, the Own the Inbox challenge, actually took a lot longer to come up with a great name for. So we had written the entire sales page and I still didn't have a name, right? I was getting so hung up on it. And this is where I like to get out a pen and a notebook, and I just start writing down words that relate to my USP. So I can show you my notebook and what it looked like. This is the actual page of what my Own the Inbox research brainstorming looked like, right? It's a total hodgepodge of different ideas, phrases, words, acronyms, things that just like were floating around in my head that I wanted to just get out and down onto paper. And I was really focusing on one of the biggest pain points that I highlight in my sales page is that you don't own your social media following. In other words, it could be taken away from you in an instant, from a hacker or a global outage. But your email list is different, right? Because you literally own it. And then boom, play on words. It worked out great as a challenge name because not only do you literally own your email list, but the course itself teaches you how to figuratively own the inbox with killer messaging and emails and really stand out amongst all of that inbox noise. So see how both of those course names are really tied to the program itself and really relevant to what I'm teaching or what's being learned. And that's the key to creating a memorable course name. If I was to pick just some random off-the-wall name that didn't really have anything to do with the actual product, it wouldn't be very memorable, right? So when naming a brand or a product, always dissect the USP and use it to really help you craft a name that reflects it. And yes, it's really nice to have a rhyme or an acronym or an alliteration in there, but do not sacrifice clarity for the sake of cute. It has got to make sense first and foremost. All right, so once you have the brand or the product name figured out, it's time to move on to step number 3, write the slogan or tagline. So now you can come up with the slogan, right? Because the brand name or the product name, it's like the movie title. It has to be first, front, and center, right? Whereas the slogan is kind of like the log line. It's the 1-2 punch that creates that powerful title-subtitle combo. Now, you don't always need a tagline or a slogan, and many brands do get by without one. So just like you're brainstorming your brand or product name, take some time to examine your USP and break it down to the very specific benefits you offer. Basically, you want your slogan or your tagline to represent your biggest, most juiciest benefit. So start writing down words that really reflect what your audience deeply yearns for. Is it happiness, love, convenience, money, right? And then you can kind of wordsmith those into something really beautiful, like Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Obviously, their audience wants happiness. De Beers, a diamond is forever, right? Their audience wants lasting love. Kentucky Fried Chicken, it is finger licking good. They wanted everyone to know that their chicken is delicious, right? So start writing down words and playing around with the emotions surrounding those words. Then after you've gotten a really good brain dump out of the way, I like to go back and revisit it all, and I ask myself these questions. Is it quickly recognizable? Does it have meaning? Is it clear and easy to understand without explanation? And is there an obvious connection to your brand or product? Again, bringing it back to my own brand and creative process, when thinking of the slogan for the Copy Posse, the new school of copywriters, there was something that came directly from my USP statement that really helped me craft that, right? So I created the Copy Posse to teach copywriters a new way of selling. The Posse is all about using the best of the old school marketing principles, but then combining those with modern storytelling and branding to create copy that connects and converts. It is the second coming of copy, and we are leading the way. We are the new school of copywriters. It's a fun play on words, right? New school meaning modern, but we're also a school for copywriters. I teach you copywriting. It's quickly recognizable and easy to understand, just like Nike, Apple, L'Oreal, and yes, Wheaties, which by the way have the following slogans. Just do it. Think different, because you're worth it, the breakfast of champions. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes peek at how I do things here at the Copy Posse. And I hope you walked away with some really great ideas on how to tackle your own badass brand or product name, taglines, and slogans. I will see you next week with a brand new video. Until next time, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out the next one from me right here. And you can click right here to get a free gift. What is the biggest secret to becoming a highly paid creative genius of a copywriter? Well, it's the same secret to becoming an all-star NBA player, winning an Emmy for Best Actor, or attaining any other desirable skill set, trait, or career. Yeah, sure, there's a bit of natural talent and inherent skill that's needed in the beginning, but what long-term success really comes down to is practice, 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 and then some more practice. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 5 super simple practices that you can do every single day to help you master the ever-evolving art of copywriting.